Hello everyone. In the last video about the IPsec, we have seen the basics of the IPsec protocol. Do watch the video on its introduction. IPsec is a framework for network layer security, that is the security of the Internet Protocol. Now let us go through the details of the IPsec, that is the IPsec communication modes and its protocol. IPsec communication modes, that are having two modes over there, that is one is called as the transport mode and the another it is called as the tunnel mode. Now, the transport mode, it provides protection for the upper layer protocols. That is, it is extending to the payload of an IP packet. So, payload of an IP packet is being secured in case of the transport mode. For example, TCP or UDP segment or an ICMP packet, all of which directly above IP operate above the IP in the host protocol stack. So, transport mode is used for the end-to-end communication between the host. So whenever end-to-end communication between the host is that is client and the server or the two workstation, at that time we are using the transport mode. It is using the transport mode by inserting authentication header after original IP header and before the IP payload, that is between the IP payload and the original IP header, the authentication header, it is being inserted. So you can see in this case the original IP packet, that is IP header, TCP header and the data, that is payload. Between this you are going to use the IPsec header, that is ESP or the authentication header. So you are going to either use ESP or the authentication header. What is ESP and authentication header? That is encapsulating security payload and authentication header. These are being used as the header and the trailer in the ESP, and for the authentication for the message authentication we are using authentication header protocol, wherein you are only inserting only the authentication header. So you can see the packet is after the header has been inserted, the packet is reassembled. So this is the transport mode of the IPsec. Now in the tunnel mode, that is it provides protection to the entire IP packet. In case of the transport mode, it provides only the protection to the IP payload, whereas in the tunnel mode for the entire IP packet. Now the tunnel mode, it is done by inserting the AH or the ESP fields are added to the IP packet. Entire IP packet plus the security fields are treated as payload of a new outer IP packet. New outer IP packet with a new outer IP header. Now it is used when both of the ends or only one of the ends of the security association are the gateway or such as firewall or the router. So for example, you can see in the tunnel mode, this is the original IP packet. Now ESP header or authentication header is being appended before the IP header. Now this is the original IP packet which is between the ESP header and the ESP trailer. After that, the IP header, a new IP header is being added to this whole of the packet, and then the packet is being reassembled. So this is the way in which the tunnel mode works. Now you can see in the diagram, whenever end-to-end authentication between the client and the server is there, and or two host or two workstation is there, at that time we are going to use the transport mode. And whenever end to intermediate authentication is there, that is one of the ends of the security association. Security association is nothing but a link between the two hosts. So when the association is established, and then only the client and the server can communicate and use the do the sending of the IP packets over the security association SA. So I'll talk about the SA later on. Right now understand what is the difference between the transport and the tunnel mode. So transport mode is used to encrypt and optionally authenticate the IP data. Only IP payload whenever it is considered, that is transport mode. It is good for ESP host to host traffic. Now tunnel mode, it is encrypting entire IP packet and it is used good for the VPNs, that is virtual private network, gateway to gateway security and so on. So this is the way in which a new header is added in the next hop for the next hop. Now this is about the transport and the versus the tunnel mode. Now let us talk about the IPsec protocols. So now what are the IPsec protocols? Just now we have seen that is the authentication header is being inserted before the before the after the IP header in case of the transport mode. And all optional also you can use the ESP header, that is ESP header and trailer for the encryption purpose. Now let us talk about this protocol, that is the authentication header. Authentication header provides the data integrity and authentication of the, so for the message authentication or the authentication of the IP packets, we are using the authentication header. How the authentication is performed by, it can authenticate user and system router can authenticate user or the applications. Address spoofing attacks can be prevented, and also replay attacks can be prevented. It is based on the MAC, that is HMAC MD596 or HMAC SHA-196 can be used. So each parties must share the secret key with respect to the authentication header. Now you can see the authentication header, wherein we are going to have the next header. Then we have the payload length, then reserved field is there. Now there is a security parameter index, which is a unsigned integer of 32-bit, which is basically used in authentication header as well as ESP headers to select the security association. So whenever selection of the security association is used, this SPI is being used. Then we have the sequence number of the authentication header and the packet and the authentication data. So this is with respect to the authentication header. Now I have already described about how the applying of the authentication header is there. This is the IPv4 packet, original IP header, and the TCP and data fields of the IP packet. In this, whenever authentication header is inserted, it is being inserted between the original IP header and the TCP fields over there. So you can see over here in the IPv4. Similarly, after original IP header and the IPv6 extension, authentication header is being inserted. So this is with respect to the transport mode. Similarly, there is with respect to the tunnel mode, that is a new IP header is formed. After that, the authentication header and the original IP header is being there. With respect to the IPv6, again the same new IP header and the extension headers, and the here IPv6 extension header are the must. So here in this case, authentication header is inserted after the new IP header. So now this is with respect to the authentication header. Now let us talk about the ESP payload, that is the ESP that is encapsulating security payload. It is used for the message confidentiality and also for the limited traffic flow confidentiality. The confidentiality is being provided, that is the encryption is being provided along with the authentication. So these are optionally you can provide the authentication services as that of the authentication header. Now it has the encryption schemes like DES, triple DES, and RC5 and so on. So there is symmetric encryption, and padding is needed to fill the block size, and CBC and other modes are also used, cipher block chaining and etc. So this all this is the way in which the encryption is being carried out. You can see the contents of the ESP header, like you can see there is a security parameter index, as earlier I have stated, that is used to select the security association. Then we have the sequence number field, that is sequence number counter for that, and then the payload data, and the padding is also being used 0 to 255 bytes, and the pad length and the next header. So this is the authentication coverage and the confidentiality, that is encryption of the data or the payload is being carried out, and authentication is being carried out for the entire SPI sequence number and the payload fields for a whole of that, and then the authentication data is being uploaded. Now you can see how the encryption of the using ESP is being carried out. That is ESP header along with that ESP trailer is there after the original IP header in the transport mode. So this is the first is the transport mode. After the original IP header and IPv6 extension, ESP header and the trailer are being used over there, and optionally you can use ESP authentication also in that case. Now with respect to the tunnel modes, again new IP header is being formed for the entire IP packet along with the ESP header and the ESP trailer, and optionally ESP authentication. So you can see original IP packet is totally being encrypted in this case, and authentication is being done for the entire ESP trailer with the ESP header with the trailer. So all this is with respect to the encryption and the optional authentication of the ESP protocol. Now we can see tunnel mode and the transport mode functionality with respect to the AH and the ESP. Authentication in the transport mode, wherein the ESP in the transport mode, that is transport mode security association, and ESP with authentication in the transport mode. Similarly, authentication in the tunnel mode, ESP in the tunnel mode, and the ESP with authentication in the. So in the case of the authentication header, authenticates IP payload and selected portion of the IP header, and the IPv6 extension headers also are being authenticated. So authenticate IP payload, entire packet when it comes over there, that is the tunnel mode which you are going to have, and ESP encrypts only IP payload, and in the tunnel mode it encrypts entire IP packet. Encryption is being carried out, and ESP with authentication means what? Encrypt IP payload along with authentication of the IP payload over there and the IP, but IP header is not being authenticated over there. Now in ESP with authentication in the tunnel mode means what? Encrypts entire IP packet and authenticates inner IP packet over the outer IP packet and the inner IP packet. That's why. So this about the transport mode and the tunnel mode, as well as the AH and the ESP protocol which we are seeing with respect to the IPsec. Now let us talk about the security policy IPsec policy, which is called as, and then we'll learn about the security association in this. The concept of security policy is applied to each of the IP packet. So whenever it is being the IPsec packet, IP packet is being transmitted from the source to the destination, IP security policy is applied to the IP packets, and this policy is determined by the interaction of the two databases. So there are two databases which we can see in this particular figure, that is security association database, and next one is the security policy database over there. So these two databases are being communicating with each other, and then the IPsec policy is being determined, and then the communication is being established. So now let us see about the first. We need to understand about the security association. Now it is as I have told before, that there is an association or the link which is being established between the sender and the receiver. It is a one-way relationship between the sender and the receiver, or the client and the server. Now if we need to obtain two-way relationship, in that case you have to do this two-way you have to establish two security association, or multiple SS have to be established. Now this security association is being governed by three parameters, which are namely SPI, just now which we have seen in the authentication header and the ESP fields, which is used which is a 32-bit unsigned integer for local significance, and it is used in AH and the ESP for selection of the SA. Then we have the IP destination address, which is the address of the destination endpoint of the security association. Now it may be any end user system, or it may be any firewall or the router or the destination. Then the security protocol identifier, which is filled from outer IP header, which is tells whether the association is AH or the ESP SA. So that is, the security association is AH or ESP. Now there are other parameters also that we need to understand, that is sequence number, authentication header, and the lifetime, etc. So we'll see the other fields also. So you can see in this case the client and the server, whenever they are going to communicate, there is a IPsec where router, that is a router 1 and router 2. Now R1 stores for the security association these all particular fields, that is the encryption key, 32-bit SPI which is there, and type of encryption which is used, and all that. So this is let us see about the security association parameters which are there. Other parameters, like there is a sequence number counter, 32-bit value which is there, and now the next one, it is the sequence counter overflow, which is a flag which indicates whether the overflow of the sequence number counter is there. Then there is an anti-replay window which indicates that it is used to determine whether inbound AH or the ESP packet is a replay or not. So replay service, anti-replay service is also provided in the IPsec, that we'll see later. Then we have the authentication header information, which tells about the algorithm ID, then the keys which are there, then the key lifetimes, etc. All these parameters are indicated with respect to the authentication header. Then we have the ESP information, wherein encryption and the authentication algorithm identifier, keys, initialization values, then the key lifetimes are and other related parameters are being used. Then next field, which is the lifetime of this essay, which is telling that the what is the time interval for this particular essay, and whether the essay must be replaced with the new essay, that is security association must be replaced or not. It will be determined by this lifetime, and terminated, or it can be terminated, plus indication of these actions should occur or not, that will be told by the lifetime of this essay. Then IPsec protocol mode, whether it is tunnel mode, transport mode, or any other wildcard. Now next is the path MTU, that is the maximum transfer unit, which is the maximum size of the packet that can be transmitted without the fragmentation. So this is telling about the path MTU. Then next is the how the security association selectors are being carried out. So there are so many other things whenever the security association are being selected, that is discriminating the IP traffic into IPsec traffic and traffic without the IPsec. So that is, the traffic is allowed to bypass the IPsec IPsec packets. Now then the IPsec services are being applied to the IP traffic, and IP traffic is related to the specific security association. Now each SPD, that is the security policy database entry, is being identified defined by the set of IP and the field values, which are called as a selectors. So these are called as a selectors. Now whenever the security association is being selected, we are the outbound packets processing which is being carried out, that is by doing this SA selection, security association selection. That is, first thing you are going to carry out, that is compare the values of the appropriate fields in the packet and match them against the SPD to find the matching SPD entry. Now then after that you are going to determine the security association, if any, for this packet or any associated security parameter index. Now the required IPsec processing is being carried out, that is AH or the ESP processing which is being carried out. Now you can see these are the values for the fields of the SPD entry, that is destination IP address, source IP address, user ID, etc. Then whenever the outbound processing is being performed, that is outbound packets are being processed. As outbound packets are those packets which are transmitted from the source to the destination, and inbound packets which are the incoming packets, we can say. Now outbound packets, which are the which is mainly for the outbound traffic over there. Now for this we can see in the figure, that is outbound packet, incoming outbound packet from the TCP or UDP. This is being searching the security policy database. If the match with the SPD entry is being found, then it is going to determine the policy. If the policy is being determined, then it will go to the searching for the security association database. Search the SAD, that is security association database, and if the match is found, then it will process either AH or ESP in that particular modes over there, and then forward the packet via IP. So this is the way in which the outbound packets are being processed. Now suppose that the match is not found in the security policy database, then the packet will be discarded. Similarly, the policy is not being found, then appropriate policy is not being there, then the packet will be discarded. Now we'll see also if that security association is not being seen. In that case, again the it will go to the internet key exchange protocol, which is the key management protocol for IPsec, and it is referred to as ISAKMP, that is the Internet Security Association and Key Management Protocol, or Oakley Key Determination Protocol, which are there. So this is the processing model for the outbound IPsec packets. Now in the same manner, we are going to have the processing model for the inbound packets also. So let us see about the next thing which is there, that is the anti-replay service. So in the earlier we have discussed that there is a anti-replay field also in case of the security association. Now, what is this anti-replay service? That is to thwart the replay attack. As we know that replay attack is where the attacker obtains the copy of the authenticated packet and later transmits it to the destination. So, receipt of the duplicate packets is being carried out, which may disrupt the services, and this may be called as a replay attack. And it is necessary to thwart this replay attacks. For that, the sequence number field is being designed. So sequence number is being introduced over there. This is used to thwart the such kind of attacks over there. So whenever a new security association is being established, the sender initializes the sequence number to the 0. Each time the packet is being sent on the security association, the sender will increment the sequence number, that is the sequence counter over there, and place the value in the sequence number field. This particular incremented value will be put in the sequence number field. The first value is used, it is 1. Now, if anti-replay is enabled over there, then the sender should not allow the sequence number to cycle 2 raised to 32 minus 1 is being reached. So the limit of the sequence number is 2 raised to 32 minus 1 over there. If this is being reached, then sender should terminate the security association, and a new security association should be established with a new key over there. So this is the anti-replay service which is being used over there. Now we can see in this particular diagram the anti-replay window, which is being anti-replay mechanism, which is using the anti-replay window. So we can see the fields, that is if the packet is marked or it is kept as the unmarked over there. So if the received packet falls within this particular window, that is fixed size window W is being there, then it is a new packet and the MAC will be checked. A MAC value will be checked. If the packet is authenticated, then the corresponding slot will be marked over there. In that particular window, it will be marked. Similarly, if the packet is to right of the window and it is new, again the MAC is checked, the packet is authenticated, the window is advanced over there, and the sequence number is the right edge of the window. The corresponding window slot in the window will be marked again. Now, if the packet is to the left of the window and if the authentication fails, then the packet will be discarded over there. So it will be unmarked if valid packet is not being received. So this is the anti-replay service or the anti-replay mechanism which is used in the IPsec packets for our thwarting the replay attacks over there. Now let us see about the combining of the security association. So in this case, the security associations are being bundled together. That is, multiple security association can be established. Why? Because one security association can either implement AH or the ESP, but they cannot implement both. So to implement both, it is necessary to combine the security association. Now, what is the security association bundle? Which is nothing but a sequence of the essays through which the traffic must be processed to provide the desired IPsec services. Now, the bundle may terminate at the different endpoints or they may terminate at the same endpoints. Now, the security association can be combined in two ways over there. So, that is the transport adjacency and the iterated tunneling. So, in the transport adjacency, we are not going to use the tunneling mode. That is, more than one security protocol, that is AH or SP, can be used on the same IP packet, but no tunneling over there. Iterated tunneling means what? Application of the multiple layers of the protocols, again the same, that is AH or ASP, but through the IP tunneling over there. So this is the way in which the combining of the security associations is being carried out. Now let us see about the different cases wherein the combining of the SS is being carried out. So the first case is that all for two end system to communicate. So these are one or more SS between the two end systems over there. Now either AH in the transport mode will be used, ESP in the transport mode, and so this is between end-to-end communication over there. Therefore, whenever two end systems are communicating, end-to-end communication is there, the transport mode is there, or it can be used in the inside that. It can be so this is in the transport mode, AH in the transport mode. Now the next case, case 2, it will be considered as it is between the gateways, security gateways, and between the two hosts. So whenever it is the case is between the two gateways, at that point we are going to use the tunnel mode over there. Now both hosts are not implementing any kind of IPsec services over there, but the gateways are using these IPsec services. So tunnel could be using ESP or ESP with authentication. Nested tunnels are not required in this particular case because IPsec services apply to the inner packets over there. So this is the case 2, which is considered wherein you are using the tunnel and the tunnel modes over there. Now the case 3, which is built in the on the basis of the case 2 again by end-to-end security. Now this is the gateway to gateway tunnel provides. So again here there is a tunnel mode, either authentication or confidentiality or both, all the traffics can be. So gateway to gateway tunnel is ESP, or it can provide the authentication also. So here in this case, this is the case for 2. Now there is a last case, which is case 4. We can see this provides support for the remote host that uses internet to reach through the firewall or the gateway which is there. Now tunnel mode, only tunnel mode is required between the host and the firewall, and one or two SAs must be used between the remote host and the local host. So this is the way in which the combining of the security association is being carried out. So these are the cases which I have explained just now. So let us summarize. That is we have learned about the IP security framework, AH mode, and the AH protocol, ESP protocol, and then we will see about the references. I have used these references over there. You can go through these references. Thank you.